Come on in, welcome. Very happy to have you with us. Joining us for today's Envase webinar regarding Tailwind TMS and using the customer portal within Tailwind to better build stronger relationships, use the technology to help your customers even more, and of course, support your business to do the same. So we're very happy that you're taking a few minutes to go through that. My name is Kevin McCahill, Director of Customer Success. Very happy to be with you this afternoon, this morning, wherever you find yourself. And joining me is Kyle Shaw, our Senior Product Manager for Tailwind. Also happy to have you with us, Kyle. So welcome. We're happy to have you here. Thank you for joining us for this webinar. We have our chat, our Q&A as always. So if you have any questions about what you're hearing, about what you're learning, please type those questions in. We'll save those to the end and we can ask those back to the expert Kyle here on what he's going to show us within Tailwind, within the portal, for how it can help you, your business, and most importantly, to help your customers, to retain them, to build those bonds and relationships. All right, so what are we going to talk about? Let's take a look. Advantages of the portal. How does the portal work for you? It's self-service, so it's giving your customers the ability to help themselves and find the value in the tool that you provided. You can define roles, so specific to what they might be doing, the role they have within the company, your customer, that they can have the access that they need. A lot of up-to-date information, which is always key, to have the data to know exactly what the needs are now, so you can be quick adjusting, flexible, and make sure you're as responsive as possible to your customers. By doing all that and using the technology in your favor, well, it saves a lot of time, it becomes more efficient, and there's even cost savings that can be considered there as well. And Kyle also in a minute touch on some of the notifications that you'll see to make sure you're getting that information and that it is happening, all of that is happening efficiently for you and for your business. Okay, so that is what we're about to cover. Now let's do it. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to let Kyle take it from there.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you, Kevin.
And welcome, Kyle. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Thank you. Thank you. And welcome to all those that have joined us today. All right. So
we're gonna let Kyle here. We're gonna go right into Tailwind. He's gonna show us around, just touching on some of those key points there. And again, any questions you have as you go through this, please type them in. We'll be happy to discuss them at the end. But in the meantime, Kyle, please take it away.
Sounds good. Yeah. So as we can see here, I'm just logged into our dev instance of Tailwind, and I'm going to navigate to our customer portal. So for those that may not be aware of where that is to get the URL that you can use to send to your customers, under our integration section here, if you scroll down to the very bottom item is where we see our option for portals. So we have two different portals. I'm going to be touching on the customer portal today, but we do also have a carrier portal for those customers that are doing brokerage operations. So let's click on this guy here. It's going to open up our portal and I'm going to log in as if I was one of our customers here. So, hey. And this login that I'm logging in with right now has been flagged as an admin, and I'll touch on this back inside of the TMS here afterwards. But going inside of here, we can see that we have a few different things that we can take a look at. Very similar to the layout of Tailwind, your left-hand menu is here. Your lists are all very familiar, all that good stuff here. So because I'm an admin, I also see the financial data that is applicable for me as a customer. So I can see what my outstanding balance is for any invoices that may be due. And then we can see what my credit remaining is here. Because this is our dev instance, we've thrown in some very, very high numbers, so we don't run into any issues with anything, but it would show a realistic value that you'd be assigning to your customer here. By default, we land into the shipments area and pretty straightforward. So we can see the different items for those shipments listed. So we can see items that have been planned, items that are awaiting pickup, things that are moving and are in transit, and then things that have been delivered and or invoiced. So we can go through and take a look at all of those. As a user of the portal, I can also go in and create shipments, which will then create this directly inside of the TMS as well. So inside of here, I can put in my commodity details. Let's just put in one here. Say a van. I have to do a van. Perfect. So, 10 skids. list of locations. I don't know what I have. Put in some dates, and we could create that. So that will then automatically create that, send it directly into the TMS. So that is now a pending order for us to then work from the dispatching side of things now. We do also have the ability to go in and create quotes. So if your customers want to get a rate for a specific move that they're going to be doing in the future, they could go in and create a quote. You guys could go in and fill that information out as well. A user also has the ability to go in and add notes. So let's say, for example, I've gone in and created this one previously, and I need to put something in to essentially notify the dispatch of something. I can go in and put in a note in here as well. And then that would then flag for our users, dispatch users inside of the TMS to say that there's been a tracking note created with whichever descriptions that you might have. So it just eases on that communication between them and you guys, as well as providing, like we talked about, that self-service. So they don't need to go in and make a phone call or send an email or anything like that. They could do that directly within the portal here. And then as well, rather than having to make check calls or phone you guys to figure out exactly what the status is of shipments and those sorts of things, they can log in here and get that information essentially in real time. So these statuses all get updated based on the arrive and departed flags that are on the dispatches inside of the TMS. So if, say, for example, you're a carrier and you're sending these loads to the POD Complete mobile app, and drivers are marking that as being arrived and departed as they're going through, that information will flow through here as they are doing that. So your customers can then be like, okay, yeah, I know that this one is in transit, or I know this one's been delivered. So they get that status coming through on that side of things there. Because this user here has been flagged as an admin user itself, we also can see our balance details. So this is basically the same thing as our AR report that you're able to generate from within inside of the TMS as a user in there. The only difference is obviously it's filtered down specifically to only show the details for that one customer rather than seeing it for all the various different ones. So we can see the invoice number of days it is overdue, what the amounts are, all those good things. And then as well, each of these are hyperlinks. So I could click on this information, see the details of it. Okay, this was an overpayment. So it's created a credit for us in the $500 in this case. If I go back to that and I want to look at a different one that actually has value, I can go in here and say, okay, yeah, here's a breakdown of my charges. This is where I was picking up, where I was delivering. If there was a customer reference number, it would be filled in inside of here as well. And then the last item that we do see from the admin perspective would be our transaction history. So this just gives a detailed overview of any invoices that have been invoices and or orders that have been created for this customer. And then as well, it would show any payments that you've received from them. So we can see here, we have an invoice payment number 1 that exists for this customer. If I click on it, we can see, okay, it's check number 1. It would give us a breakdown of the payment lines, all that good stuff. So they can go in and see all that information on their own. They don't have to talk to you guys. It just helps ease that communication between you and them, and they can do that self-service that we talked about here. So I did want to go back and just show you the view specifically for the, I'm just going to move this out of the way. Oops. For the other user that we have. So if you don't want users to see that financial information, maybe they are dispatchers on the customer side of things or order entry people, you can flag that from within this TMS. So it does limit that information. So we can see that it's removed all the credit information up at the top and what the balance details would be for their account. And then as well on the left-hand side, we don't see their AR report as well as that transaction history. So it's only the operational stuff that they can see. And then inside of our orders themselves, we also don't show that revenue section inside of here. So it's mainly used by just your customers, order entry people, and that type of role. So if we go back to the TMS, inside of your customers, Origin is the one that, yeah, perfect. So inside of here is where you would set up the access for your customers to go and log in. And that's done on a contact by contact basis. So in the event that you want two people to log in from the same company, but you want one to have access to that revenue information and the other one potentially not to, that's where you would go in and set these up. So Anthony Hoopy here was the first one that I had logged in with. If I go into it, we can see that there's this admin toggle, which then would be the trigger to display that revenue information. And then as well, this is where you can set the username and password up for your users. And then similarly on our other one, it was maybe this one. No, either or. This one here is the one that I'd set up that does not have that admin toggle turned on, and therefore it does not show any of that information. Yeah, that's that stuff. Just go back here. Let's see if there's anything else that I want to go over. Yeah, so on that side of things, that mainly covers the portal, how to set it up, and where you can go in and manage the different users that you guys create. The other thing that I did want to touch on was the notifications. So yes, the portal is great in terms of it being able to self-serve and allow users to log in and see the status of all of their shipments that they have ongoing. So they can see that it's whether it's in transit, if it's been picked up, delivered, etc. But taking that one step further, what you can also do is send out notifications to your customers when that arrive and departed flag is triggered. So inside of our configuration here, if we go under operations and, dispatch. So under operations and dispatches here, we have two options. One for allow arrived dispatch emails, which currently is set to none, and then as well allow departed dispatch emails. And so inside of these drop downs here, we have the option to either always send these notifications out to your customers, or if you only want to send them out for specific ones, say it's like a high value customer, you want to give that extra service, you could then say that, okay, I only want to do it for specific ones. And then inside of the customer record, you can say yes or no, whether or not you want those emails to go to them or not. What this would then do is as soon as you do click on those arrived and departed flags within the dispatch and or from the mobile app, it would then trigger an email to go out to the contact that is on the order to say that that has been picked up or delivered. Or is in transit if it's from the pickup location, essentially. Much like you get with like your UPS or your FedEx, you'll get that email saying, okay, now it's in transit, it's on its way, kind of thing. So you do have the ability to set these up as well and send those then out to your customers. And then all you need to do, like I said, inside, if you do set it to be specific, go into there and just flag it as the yes or no, essentially. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover today, to give you guys a few additional tools to allow you to help self-serve your customers, to provide them with greater service and efficiencies in terms of being able to communicate with them, give them some details in terms of where they can go in and see statuses of their stuff, and move that along. So yeah, with that, Kevin, I'll turn it back over to you.
Hey, excellent. Thank you very much, Kyle. Again, Kyle walking us through all the advantages of the customer portal right within Tailwind. Thank you very much for showing us all of that. And I just want to highlight this back up here. Any questions from our audience? Now would be a nice time to do that via the chat, via the Q&A. What questions would you like to know? There's also our contact information. If you do have further questions, by all means, you're free to use that. We will take some of those questions that you might have. Go ahead and type them in. Maybe Kyle, we can stay with this. And how much does the portal cost if we want to add it, have it as part of our subscription? Is there an extra cost there?
Great question. So for the portal specifically itself, there isn't a cost for the portal. It's not just something like we turn on as like its own separate module. It is part of the packages in the, I can't remember our tier names now off the top of my head. It's in the top 2 product tiers. So I think it's looking at it is in our enterprise and unlimited tiers. So yeah, as long as you're on one of those 2 tiers, it's included. And if not, you could upgrade from the Pro subscription to one of those 2 tiers and then take advantage of it. So the price difference between those would be on an annual contract for Pro, currently it's $99. If you go to the enterprise, it's $149 per user moving forward.
All right, excellent. So enterprise and above, this is included and something you can take advantage of right now. Excellent. Now, how about if we need to change contacts, someone there isn't with the company anymore? Is it pretty straightforward to be able to adjust those connections?
Yeah, it definitely is. So all you would need to do is when you go into the customer profile itself and you see that contact list, you do have the ability to go in and simply just obsolete that contact so that they're no longer active. That would then as well disable them from being able to access that customer portal and either view or create anything new. And alternatively, if you wanted to go in and manage their details, like for example, if they forgot their password or whatever, you could change it in there, remove it, those sorts of things. So it's all done within those customer master records.
Excellent. And a question, how about in terms of GPS? Can we share GPS of trucks for customers in terms of being able to share that visibility?
That's a great question. Currently, we do not have that coming through into the customer portal. If that is definitely something that you're looking for, feel free to reach out to us and we could definitely evaluate what it would look like depending on kind of what GPS provider you might be using, how you want to surface that data, whether it's just within kind of the order itself or whether we want to kind of do some active map sort of situation. It's definitely something that we would be willing to go down that road to scope out and take a look at. But as it says currently, yeah, we don't display any of that information.
Yeah. One of the best ways we know what to build and what to improve upon is to hearing directly back from customers. So if you hear that we have something, but it doesn't offer this part that would really make it valuable to you, tell us, let us know.
100%.
A fantastic way for us to make sure we're building something that is most valuable to you. All right. Any other questions there? Excellent. Okay. Well, everyone, I appreciate very much your attendance here. Again, you see our contact information for myself, Kevin McCahill, Kyle Shaw as well. Please feel free to reach out with any follow-up or any questions here. Recorded this, it'll be up online very soon, and feel free to rewatch that as whenever you might like. But we do hope you appreciate learning a little bit more about what's available in the customer portal and learning more. Oh, I did find one more question here. I have this one for you.
Okay. Perfect.
Would GPS visibility via Android and or iOS via carrier app similar to 4Kites? Would something like that be possible?
Potentially. So currently, like on our P2 Complete app, we do have the ability to toggle on that GPS coordinates. But in terms of being from 4Kites, we'd have to reach out to them to figure out those data feeds and whether or not we're able to get that information back on that side. But it's definitely something we could investigate and look at moving forward.
Nice work, Tyler. Right. So now it's in our heads. Now we know you've given us some homework, a little assignment to work on. So we can make this work for you. So thank you very much. Appreciate you asking that question. Excellent. So again, here's our contact info. If you watch this again, have more questions, I encourage you to check out that customer portal, see how it adds efficiency in both time, financially, and supporting your team and your customers most of all. So thank you very much. Appreciate the time and hope you all have a great rest of the day. And thank you, Kyle, for joining us as well.
Thank you, Ron. Yep. Cheers.
Yeah.